Welcome back to our first build episode, being back in New York with the Mog. If you're just kind of catching up, we built about 80% of our truck last year and it just got too cold at the end of the winter. So we cut our losses, we headed out to Arizona for a shakedown trip so we could use the things that we built, see what we needed. We learned a lot. And you can watch the review of our shakedown trip linked somewhere up here. So now it is time to implement all of those things, do the updates and the changes. So this is kind of Unimog build series part B, part 2, the sequel, the mini build series. I'm pretty excited to be back working on the truck. This project involves sewing, so these are very Savannah-centric projects for this video. The first project is something that we desperately need on the exterior of the truck, and that is sun covers for the spare tire that sits on our roof rack, a cover for our winch, and also a winter cover for the AC unit that is mounted on the back of the box. Especially that spare tire has just been out there baking in the sun, and we're afraid that it will break down over time from the UV. I did look for a tire cover online, but the problem is that our tires are so big. I could not find anything already made, and then to order a custom one was really expensive. I might as well make it myself since I do know how to sew. I'm at my parents' house. I am in my childhood bedroom. Look at the color of these walls. This is the loudest color ever. Anyway, I have all of the materials I'm gonna need for the covers. First of all, this is just a really heavy duty thread since it will be outside. This is the fabric. It's called Sunbrella, and it's made for marine products, awnings, anything that's exposed to a ton of sun. So this completely blocks UV from getting through the fabric. It's mold, mildew resistant, water resistant, it's made to be outdoors. So I'm really hoping that this will hold up on the top of a vehicle. I think this has a better chance than anything. It feels really stiff, kind of like a canvas. And the biggest thing is just that it's blocking the UV rays from getting to the tire. My first hurdle here is to lay this out and cut a circle into it the size of the top of the tire. Then I can make the boxing and put the elastic into it. My plan has already changed just a little bit. So we've done 4 builds in the past, and from those builds I have a ton of scrap material, just things left over, especially sewing materials. So digging through my stuff, I found this Coats outdoor thread. Like, it's made to go outdoors. And I don't think the one that I bought is actually outdoor thread, because comparing this to the one that I bought, this one feels like it's coated, like way different. I have 2 kind of half-used spools. One is in my sewing machine now, and then I have this too. The only problem is that it's blue and my fabric is black, but I don't think that you're gonna see that. So I'm gonna use this up before I touch any new thread. And the other thing, I found some bungee cord left over as well. This is a huge long piece. So I'm gonna use this to tighten down the bottom of the tire cover. All of these things are the wrong color, but it's better to use stuff that's just sitting around. So I think I'm actually ready to start sewing. All my pieces are cut. I have the first piece here. This is the boxing for the tire cover. So boxing is what goes around the outside essentially. I'm gonna sew the little piece where the bungee will go, and then we're gonna attach it to the round top. Hopefully it all fits. I think it is finally done. Honestly, it looks like a blob of nothingness. It does kind of look like a giant shower cap. So I put the elastic through the bottom piece and I just kind of guessed at the length. I tried to make it pretty tight. We definitely don't want this to come off. So I want it to be nice and snug. I have a little bit extra, so when I put it on there, if it doesn't fit, I can back it out a little bit and make it fit really nice once it's up there. I'm so excited to try this. I cannot wait to see if it actually worked or not, or just what it'll look like. Like what does this look like? Because it looks like a blob right now. So I'm gonna go try it out. This fit so well. I mean, it's the exact size of the tire. There was no way I was gonna get this thing on the tire while having the elastic band in place. So I released that, and then I was able to kind of shimmy it over the tire. Yeah, no way you could do it with that elastic in there. I lost the ends, but it is still in there. So I think I can kind of cinch up the bottom, feed it back out the ends, and then it'll just tighten up around the bottom of the tire and the roof rack. I have a few threads to trim, but wow, I couldn't be happier with this one. The fabric was really easy to sew. It seems like it's a good material that'll really hold up outdoors. I mean, time will tell. But I'm so happy with the fit. I was a little worried there for a second as I was shimmying it over, but it is pretty much the exact size. I couldn't have gone bigger or smaller. So this one is a bit difficult because what is this shape? What is it? It has a handle on top, controller is back here. It's not any one uniform shape. So I basically just cut out a rectangle of the fabric kind of to rough measurements of the winch. And I'm gonna put it on here and just try to like shape it around it and pin it in place. I am gonna sew an elastic band around the bottom, so once I put it on, it kind of tucks all the edges in. This is probably the easiest cover, but in a way it's the most challenging shape. I could have done end pieces and then a top, you know, I could have made like a rectangle, but honestly it doesn't even need to be that difficult. So I don't know, we'll see how this works. Tucked in there. The final cover is finished. This is the cover for the air conditioner. I didn't film a ton of this process just because it gets repetitive. I made this the same way as I made the other two, but let me explain what's going on. This was by far the most complicated cover of the three. For the air conditioner, we just wanted something to cover it for the winter time because we do so much off-roading, and right on the back of the box is where all the mud and dust kind of swirls and kicks back. And we just thought the air conditioner would get completely destroyed back there if we left it open. So the cool thing about how the air conditioner mounts is that there's a big gap behind it. So I made these two straps. So the cover goes onto the air conditioner, then the straps feed behind the unit, and the Velcro comes up and sticks right there. Here's the second one, right there. So that kind of holds it in place. I also have the bungee cord in there just for extra security. I'm pretty confident that this really high strength Velcro would hold it on, but why not add two methods? So it has the bungee cord, but the most complicated part of the entire setup was that the power cables and the hoses that come from the inside to the outside of the truck go right into the side of the air conditioner. So I had to make little holes in the cover that basically allow those two things to get out the side of the air conditioner. That made things a little more complicated, especially with feeding the bungee through. You basically have to put the cover on and then feed the bungee through this part and tie it on the other side, because otherwise you would hit those hoses and power cable when you go to put this on. So a little bit more complicated than the other two, but still not too bad. I had just enough fabric to make all three, so now that this is finished, I'm gonna go test fit this on the back of the truck. Alright guys, that's it for today, but all 3 covers are now on the Mog. The spare tire, the winch, and the air conditioner are all fully protected. As soon as we installed each of those 3 things, we immediately knew that we had to cover and protect them in some way. So it feels really good to get this project done. You'll notice on the spare tire, we did add 2 little ratchet straps. We noticed when we were driving that it could work its way up to have a little extra slack in the middle of the tire. It's just kind of the nature of it being such a gigantic tire. So to keep everything perfectly in place, we added those 2 straps. Seems to be working out really well. But yeah, that's all we have for you this week. Tons of Mog projects coming up, so we will see you again very soon.